Recorded live.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be around the world, around the nation, around the world. My name is Eric Nilsson, and with me today, I welcome the VMware Community Podcast. Well, I got that wrong. My name is Eric Nilsson, and this is podcast number 759. Today is Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. Yeah. Bob, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. You say it's the 25th of February, and I'm wondering where February has gone. You know, it seems like a blur here, man. Where are you? Anyhow, you're in a different spot.
I am down up in San Francisco at a one-day conference on community building with our community vendor Higher Logic, which runs all the Broadcom forums. And I'm here, and we're brainstorming, how to run AI in the forums and do Reddit / Higher Logic aggregation of forum posts, and then do FAQ posts based on AI aggregating Reddit and forum posts together. So cool day. But up in San Francisco, I thought I would do the podcast remotely, and so here I am, and we're happy to be here.
You and I are switching spots. Normally, I'm the one that's out in the weird places, the cars and all that stuff. But,
that's right. Luckily, we have good Wi-Fi here, and here we are. And I'm super excited about today's show because Compatibility Matrix. I was listening to a session this morning on virtual cores and virtual core management, right? And just like all the hardware compatibility issues that now go on as you expand the number of cores and the CPU count. So it's a great topic to cover today, which is compatibility matrix when you start dealing with CPUs and virtualization and migrating from 5 to 9 and all of the kind of the CPU management that I really never even thought of, right? So cool to have Thomas Rodrigues on the show today, if I'm not messing that up. But before we do that, Bob, I just want to say congrats to all the vExperts.
Yes.
Yeah, that announced over 1,000, right around 1,000 vExperts are now in the program, and so excited about that, right? Good.
Yeah, no, it's nice to see everybody and see all the news and all that stuff, people tweeting or Xing or whatever they do on X now, the posting, I guess. And see all the community come back together and that. And so, we don't have Corey today, but the, it's nice. And check your email if you don't. Yeah, you get an email from Corey and crew. One way or another. Yeah.
Congrats to everybody. And as I said, a lot of hard work to build the community, make the community relevant. And, if it weren't for all the vExperts and all the people producing the content, Thomas included here, we wouldn't really have a community, right? I mean, what makes the community great is just all the content that's generated by everybody. So appreciate all the work that goes into that. And there's Tony Foster.
Yeah, we've got Tony Foster. Oh my
goodness. Right. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. Only other news shout outs that we should say is that the vMug Connect now has 350 people registered, something like that. So going, don't quote me on the exact number, but it's somewhere in that range. And I know that we're still 3 weeks away, so we'll probably hit the 450 mark at least at the Amsterdam vMug. So if you're in Europe and you want to be part of the community, it's going to be a buzzing great show, right? A lot of community members. We've been doing social on the tier down presentations from community. So a lot of great people doing sessions, not just, William and Duncan and, the classic Netherlanders, right, and other Europeans, but also a lot of great, other tiered community contribution people that are doing sessions there. So if you're in Europe, take the flight, register. They have space. It's not too late. You got 3 more weeks to schedule that out and make that happen. So,
And then if you can't make that one, come see me in Minneapolis in early April. So early April, that'll be fun. It'll be nice. It's my home. I grew up there. So
and what I'd say about Minneapolis is that I know that the unrest that they had has settled down, right? So the city is now saying that things are back to normal. So you don't have to really worry about getting caught up in any bad traffic snarls or anything like that. So
you can't say anything about traffic or whatever, but the political stuff is there's still traffic up there or whatever. But I'm glad you mentioned that because I actually got asked by somebody a couple of weeks ago about that, whether it was safe to go to Minneapolis. Yes, it's absolutely safe to go to.
Yeah, I had a meeting with Brad yesterday, and they're saying, yeah, they're working with the hotels and everything is just calmed down and super, but they have a perception issue now, right? Of course, right? So we're trying to get the word out that, hey, it's all good, it's all clean, and come by, because I got the code labs there. I got my Miniform GPUs. I meant to have them here to show you. These guys are like they're the size of a Cracker Jack box, the whole GPU. When you look at it, it looks like full size, when in the picture, but when you get it, it's like
you got to put a quarter next to it or something like that. Something that people know what the size is,
That's a building for ants. I forget. Zoolander, I think, had that quote. Like, I need it 3 times bigger than this, right? They are super cool, right? So we're excited to do the GPU labs there. All the certifications are going to be live. So certifications happening for the 2 days. So you can go do that. HOLs are going to be there. And then Bob's going to be there. And then we have the day 0 birds of a feathers, which are also going on, the 3 topics. So should be a fun time.
It's going to be a lot of good people there. Yeah, I'll be doing day 0 stuff with Chris McCain. If you know him, he's from the ANS, the Application and Network Security Group, and he's a very dynamic speaker. I got to talk to him when I was on the show last week from Denver, my vehicle in Denver or whatever. Chris was there as well, and he's a very dynamic speaker. And he talks about the workload side of security, and I talk about the platform side of security. 2 peas in a pod. So.
Yep. Good times for security, good times for VCF, and good times for one other topic, which I can't remember the 3 topics now, of course. But day 0, it's in the AI. That's it. AI. Yep. All right. Well, let's get on with the show here, Thomas. With Community Podcast, we always like to ask our guests to give us a little bit of a career arc. Like, how did you get here? You're a blogger now. You're doing compatibility matrix checking programmatically. So why don't you give us a little elevator pitch of your career arc and what you do now? Yep.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for having me, Eric, Bob.
Thanks for being here.
I was super excited when I received the email from Eric. So I really appreciate the invitation. Well, I started work with cloud infrastructure in 2019, I suppose. But I only started to work with VMware in 2021 in a job here in my local town. And at that point, I realized that many questions that I have, I was able to research and to answer, and many people of my job was able to ask me, and I was able to answer them. So in 2023, I decided to create a blog. At that time was a Medium blog, and I was only writing content in Portuguese because, unfortunately, in Portuguese we have not too much content VMware related. So my goal was, okay, let me translate some good content to my Brazilian fellows, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But last year I joined a US company, and with that, and right after that, VCF9 was announced. So I realized that many of my questions about VCF9, what can we do, what this technology presents, are the same questions of all other engineers, all other architects around the world. Mm-hmm. So, and some of that question, I had the answer. So, okay, I thought, I think I can help other people to do that. I can share my experience with them as the same way I was learning from the experience of other vExperts. So, and last year, 2025, I switched all my blog to English content to help in attempts to try and reach more people. And I think it works because I'm here today. So I think it works. And that's my background.
Oh, very cool. That's your translation stuff, translating things into other languages is so important, and in that. And so, but yeah, English, there's just a larger population too. And so, yeah, it's not really a surprise that you've attracted our attention. I think it was Eric and your team.
Yeah. And Bob, I'll ask Thomas, what's your blog URL? Because I'm up in the city here. I don't have it in front of me. Normally I'd post it on the messages out to the community, but we should give him a shout out to drive people to his blog, although people had already seen it. So that's good. And yeah, how many blog articles have you been doing per year?
Oh, I try to write at least one for a month, but
All right.
I mean, with all the VCF9 boom, I was writing maybe 2, maybe 3 per month. So last year was just a few, but I believe this one will be like 20 blog articles.
Nice. So I got to look at that. It's landsnet.com, right? Is that it? LANZ.
Landsnet.com.
Landsnot. LANZOT.com.
Yes, exactly.
Here.
It's
Exactly.
tiny. It's tiny on my laptop screen here.
Yeah.
But I can almost see it. And then when I try to highlight it, it assumes I'm an admin in the messaging and it wants me to delete the message. So
Yeah, that's what
I couldn't even do that. Right.
Nice shot. Yes. So here, I've got it here.
Yeah, perfect. Yep. So you should be able to find it now if you search on it. It's out there. So enjoy that. So let's talk about the compatibility guide. So compatibility guide in the old days, back in 2008. I remember when I first got exposed to it was 2006. It was just kind of a list of what machines we supported, right? And it didn't really drive down into like GPU CPU combos or anything like that. It was basically just here are the machines. There were a handful of them that had been certified by us, right? Where is it in today's space?
Well, I mean, the compatibility metrics, it's the first thing we need to check before we start to deploy or planning the ESX or the VCF9. Because, I mean, a lot of companies, a lot of customers today are planning or at least wondering if they are going to adopt VCF9 or not. But if your hardware aren't compatible, we don't have much choice to do, right? So as a VM engineer on my current client, I faced the same challenge, the same thing, the same problem. Okay, we are planning, we are designing the scope, but my current hardware has or was compatible with ESX9. And I suppose this is the question that many customers around the world are doing the same, because VCF9 was launched last year in June. So during 2026, many people are planning or already have been deployed in VCF9. And this question will pop up at some point. So I had the same question, and I need to figure out a way to do that programmatically, because I have this quote: if I do the same task twice, I probably should automate it.
Yeah.
It doesn't have, it makes sense for me do the same things over and over again if the machine can do for me. I like to think like Linus Torvalds. Linus create Git just to help him to versioning Linux code, but I'm not comparing to him, not at all. I'm just coding. So this is.
But I mean, it's a complicated topic, Like I had just, if you're watching on YouTube at all or see this on YouTube, I've got an image of if you search for Broadcom compatibility guide or compatibility matrix, you'll get the website compatibilityguide.broadcom.com. And there's a lot to it here, and so I get why you automated it. This is impossible to sort through by yourself,
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of difficult, but when we start coding, we start to realize and to see the difficult parts, and when we understand that, we can make things easier. So that's what I try to do. I mean, I try to automate, but make easier for everyone that's using the same code to do it without thinking what the code is doing, right? Because I mean, you can download a code from GitHub and run in your PC, but if you need to read the code and try to understand to make it work, I mean,
Yeah.
it will work, but it's not the point, right? So I try to create something that's everyone can download and use, and it don't care about what's on behind the scene. The compatibility guide by itself, it's really simple. For ESX9, we just need to check the CPU, the GPU, and I mean, it was easy for me on that specific spot.
Nice.
And I suppose that this could be the script. It's limited because people need to have other operations on your environment, so I can get all the information required, so I can check against the compatibility matrix. But I mean, a lot of customers has the other operations, so it could be useful for many people.
Yeah, I was going to ask how you get the information from the environment, whether you query like iDRAX on a Dell or that, but that answers my question. ARIA operations, VCF operations has got all of this information built into it, right?
Yes, exactly. And I mean, it was kind of funny because I developed this script in a way to make my life easier, because I was planning to do the same thing one by one, and I worked in a client that had almost 500 hosts with almost 50 different server models. So
Wow.
check one by one will be really time consuming.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm looking at here. Like 5,761 records on the compatibility list just for system and servers, right? So
yeah, and that's
Yeah, okay.
tricky too, because like, you know, all the combinations of CPUs and servers and all that stuff, and yeah, you know,
yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
let alone IO devices, right? You know, that then get into the combination of IO devices, and so yeah, it's but you did answer one of my questions, which was how programmatically do you get this? And what you guys are just saying, and I'll just reiterate this in case I missed it, is that all this data has been put into operations, or and now that's how you're programmatically getting at the data, right? Is it operations or is it automation?
yeah, no, it's operations.
Operations.
I get
All right,
all the data from operations. Yes,
right,
exactly.
right. Okay, great. That's interesting. So then when you go to compatibility guide broadcom.com, basically you're looking at the same data that has been fed into operations for your release. So now it saves you needing to scroll through this website and click on everything and then figure that out. Now you're programmatically building that. When you're building your program, did you make a user interface, or how do you pass in what systems you've got in your 50 list?
No, it's just one line of code. It's a Python code. So if you had Python on your environment, in your laptop, or maybe in your own vCenter instance, you can run it. You just need to put the parameters like the operations host, your username, password, domain, and if you like, the verbose mode will give some more details, and there's another parameter, and I forgot the output. I mean, to the file you output all the data. So you pass this on a single line of code, and the program you do the rest.
So it gets you the operations, it gets you the compatibility list in a file. Do you do any ability to query it?
Well, the compatibility list is not getting from a file; it's getting from an API, not an API call, but a web.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Right. It generates the list for you, right? That's the output of your Python. Does your Python do any ability to search on a particular machine?
Not yet. No.
Okay. All right. So this is just getting me the list from operations.
Yes, exactly.
Right. All right. Well, that's an interesting script, right? Yeah, I get that. Any thoughts about maybe making it a query so that you could say, hey, give me the list and look for these 10 servers that I pass in? because for me, that would be like my interesting challenge. I'd like to be able to interact with something that I say, here are the 5 servers I have, here's the storage I have, and here are the network cards I have. Tell me what version of the vSphere VCF I can run currently based on those parameters, right? Because I think that would be programmatically an interesting project.
Well, I think that's a really good idea. I will try to implement that.
Yeah, there you go. Right, like that's what I would say, because I think reality is it is interesting, because then you could write, if you get the output, is it text-based output, I assume then?
It's a CSV file.
Right. Yeah. So you get a CSV. You can do some manipulation, load it into a spreadsheet and then search on things and look for things. Right. So I would assume that's how you'd have to manage that. Right.
Yeah, that's perfectly possible. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is useful to have it in a CSV file. Right. Yeah. I wonder if you could just build a website on your blog that just gave the CSV file to everybody. Then I wouldn't have to run anything. I'd just go to your blog and download it. Right, like it's like a single CSV file in a blog in a text format. So yeah,
Okay.
I think that's an option, right?
Yeah.
You can say no to Eric too. You know.
Yeah. You can. I'm just.
Ideas are good.
I'm in a high ceilinged Autodesk creative center here, where it's designed to make you think creatively, right? So I'm just gonna throw out ideas.
Yeah, but that is a pretty good idea. Yeah, I never thought about it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's straightforward, Bob. I'm not sure I have any other ideas around what to ask him with the script, because the script is just a go query and spit out all of the hardware compatibility list that's been baked into operations, right? I guess I get back to the compatibility list, using the compatibility list. Have you had any challenges with regards to using the list that you would like to see overcome?
Well, yes, because sometimes the compatibility list wasn't. I wouldn't say that it's not so clear, because it is clear, but it keeps updating the compatibility list. I know that because.
Oh yeah, right.
I know that because a few months ago I run it in a client, and almost 50% of our current hardware wasn't compatible. And I run a few days ago, and today almost 95% of all our environment is compatible. But we don't have a field. I mean, I didn't search for that, but we don't have a field that says, okay, we are updating now. You need to check. You need to take a look, because if you take a look now, maybe your hardware now is compatible with ESX9. I mean, recently Broadcom released a KB explaining that there is a few CPUs that are deprecated, but they are compatible with vSphere 9. And I posted yesterday an update on my script telling, okay, now we have this field also added to my script. So you can see there's a new column there calling VCF support, confirm with vendor, that says, okay, Broadcom says that this server is compatible with vSphere 9, but you probably should ask your vendor if you update a BIOS or a firmware, it won't break anything. But okay, we are telling that will work. So that point specifically could be improved. So my life will be easier, and I believe the life of everyone will be easier, because we'll see and we'll have regularly updates when the compatibility guide get updated. I don't know if I make myself clear.
That's actually really interesting, right? Which is a use case would be running this, run it once a week, and then just have a diff against the changes to the CSV file, so I could spit out. I can see personally, just run it, diff it across 2 file names, and give me the list, give me the changes, right? Give me the additions that are actually happening in this thing. Because you got a great point, which is how do I currently keep up with what's new on the either in operations that is downloaded, and updated because I got a patch. Now operations has a new data set, and how do I know what's changed on the compatibility list? Or even the website doesn't give me any kind of change management either. So
no, it'll just be a surprise later when you go to do an upgrade or something like that. Then all of it, rather than knowing about it ahead of time, now you've got all this work to do right then and there,
Yeah, and I could see a sophisticated awk or grep command that would actually go in and look for my machine names and see if the delta actually had, the differences actually had several of my machine names that that I'm watching, right, and looking for, right? So especially that old vExpert Nook that I've got, I'm kind of waiting to see when that one shows up on the hardware compatibility list. William Lamb borrowed one of those because it has a Realtek driver in it, and he wanted to do some testing. So I'm thinking soon, one of these days. Don't quote me on it, but maybe we get a Realtek driver out of the. But it is on a more serious note. Like that's a really good use case.
Yeah. Oh, agreed. Hey, so I went out to, so you've got your, the first thing that I searched for, you're on LinkedIn, which people can follow you there. I will do that right after the show. And then you've got your blog here. So I actually went to your GitHub repo and I grabbed it, and I've been doing a lot with Python lately. So you grab the requirements and the, and the script itself, you can use pip to do the requirements. And here, let's give this thing a shot. Is it going to work? What's it going to say about my lab environment? It's going to say my lab environment is not found. Look at that. Yes. Yeah. So my lab environment is the Wild West, the frontier. It's not the frontier at all. I'm not kidding. But So, but if this were, what? Go ahead.
This follows the rule of the demo law, right?
Yeah. Do a demo, lose a sale.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, I actually made sure it worked beforehand. But and the interesting thing about my server models is somebody at Supermicro who programmed the model names put a hyphen in one of them, and so that's kind of interesting. But I don't know how to reprogram that yet. But Supermicro's support site has been broken for months, so. But no, this is really cool, actually. Oh, yeah. Hey, look
I want to maximize it so I can actually see what the heck it's saying there.
Yeah, so I ran this.
For people that are listening, why don't you describe what it did?
Yeah, I was just going to do that. So basically, you give it some parameters, you tell it who you want to log into and or how you want to log into the operations console or whatever, and basically tells you the summary of the machines that you've got. So it'll log in, it'll gather the information about your hosts and your server models. It's got my CPUs. I've got AMD EPIC 32 core CPUs. I've got two in each host, 4 hosts. 3 of my hosts have one model name, and 3 of them have the same model name with an extra hyphen in it. And the compatibility is not found, which is not surprising in the least. And VCF supported, confirm with vendor category. Well, if they're not found, it's not going to say anything there. So, and then for summary or whatever, it's just showing not found. Yeah, this environment actually isn't running VCF 9, but but seems to work just fine otherwise. So, no, this is really cool, man.
Oh yeah. Now I see what it's doing. Got it. I thought it was spitting out a whole compatibility list that was in the operation.
It saved a server export.
But it's actually just giving you your compatibility, whether your machines that it's found are actually on the list, and giving you a table for that. It's not giving you the total list.
No, not at all. Yeah, because if you want to search for the whole list, you can go to the site itself. It doesn't need a script to do that. And exactly, unfortunately, Bob doesn't have a CPU that's on the list, but I was like to do that because I don't want to guess information.
Yeah.
I don't want people to search for my script to get information that's not on the official source. So if it's not on Broadcom, okay, you can talk to your TAM, you can talk to Broadcom support, but I am not providing a different type of information that's not on the compatibility list.
No,
Right.
but the information that you've got is helpful here. So like I can go back to the compatibility list here, and I can pick. Oh, I see we've got 9.1 in the list here already. Interesting. What's that? I've never heard of 9.1. And yeah, we could search for. So
Yeah, I wanted to be able to look at my machine architecture and then look at the compatibility list and tell me what do I got to upgrade to in order to get compatible, right? Because okay, I'm on a Dell XYZ that's 10 years old. What's the cheapest Dell I can go to that's kind of in the same vein of what I already got? That's what I want.
So
Where do I need to go?
I don't know what I'm doing here clearly. So
yeah. Tony, you mentioned in chat, so I'll give you a shot here, that you went and visited his GitHub repository. Why don't you talk a little bit about what you see? We'll pretend that Thomas isn't actually on the call, and we'll give him a grade on his GitHub repository.
So Thomas's repository is absolutely awesome. He's got a ton of different projects in there. I'm gonna have to go back after the call and actually go through and see what all's in there, because there look like there are a bunch of really cool different projects that he has in there. So
Nice.
I'm super excited about that. I do have one question, Thomas. With this script, is it possible, because I haven't had a chance to dig into the code yet, is it possible to flip the version? Let's say that a new version comes out. Bob noted that there was a new version number in the repository earlier in the compatibility guide. Can I go, hey, I want to change over to this new version that just came out?
Well, this script gets all versions. So that table, if you're running in a CPU that it's found on the compatibility list, it will grab all the versions that are compatible with. So if a new version is available on the website, you see. And in the blog, there is a update in the. You can scroll down, Bob, and you see the update. And there is a screenshot there that I put it. And
okay, yeah, so it's showing you the model here, and then it's got all of the different versions here. You've got ESXi 9.1. There's actually no such thing as ESXi 9.1 or 9. It's become ESX again. Don't ask me what the thinking was in brand, but whatever. But, so interesting. No, that's cool.
So as soon as a new version is available on Broadcom Compatibility Guide, the script will grab.
Awesome. That is very cool.
I like stuff like this, I really do.
Me too. And I can see this being very, very useful. I have a lot of friends, as you can imagine, that do deployments and stuff, and want to have this information at their fingertips and don't want to go trying to power through the compatibility guide to see if what they're about to do is supported, or if they need to go back a rev, or what they need to do. So this is very cool, and I'm actually looking forward to using this in my home lab.
What's his GitHub URL? Can we put that in the chat?
It's just off his blog. If you go to his blog, you can find it. But yeah, here I can put it in.
Nice. And if you follow us on YouTube.com,
which you should,
you can actually see YouTube.com/vbarbecue. You can actually see the comments that get posted. Right, if you're watching this live, there's a live stream chat that actually puts those comments up on the site.
And there's another part. I mean, for me, it's interesting. I don't know if you guys will find the same thing, but on the script, there's this new version, that version 1.1, I suppose. It's there's a new column called VCF support confirmed vendor. And the servers that are listed there or has some information there will be in a deprecated stage. So if in Bob is showing probably the Dell
thanks.
or 740, the ready node, they'll probably be in not supported in the next major release.
Yeah,
So-
nice.
For me, this is especially helpful because, okay, I have to manage the life cycle of 500 hosts. And I need to be prepared when some of them or some of the models enter in the end of life. So I can refresh that hardware to adapt ESX maybe 10 or VCF 10. I don't know how you guys are planning to call it. So doing that, I know that, okay, I had support for a couple of years, but later in the future, I have to think about refresh this hardware because this hardware is not so new anymore. And I need to bought new hardware and replace these guys. I think I want to be prepared, and I mean,
Yeah.
every architect engineer wants to be prepared as well.
No, that's a good move. Yeah, and that's the case for my AMD CPUs, for example, those 7502s. They and even when I install ESX, it gives me the warning that they're supported now, but they're deprecated and support will be removed in a future release. You know, and there's basically 3 stages CPUs go through. You know, as far as there's actively supported, there's will work, but you know the actual CPU vendor, they're on extended support, basically serious fixes only, and then there's all kinds of stuff that isn't supported anymore. And just because AMD, Intel, whoever, basically they don't support them. They're not going to release firmware anymore, that sort of stuff. So yeah, that means we can't support them either. So but sometimes there's features. A lot of times it's just whether it'll work or not, it'll still work maybe, but we're not testing it anymore. And then sometimes there's feature compatibility problems where it won't work at all, that sort of thing. So. And to answer your question too about versions, so there's in the new scheme, we used to have update releases, update 1, update 2, update 3. There were always 3 updates and 1 original GA release. That's just turned into major version numbers now. So 9.0, 9.1 is basically going to be the same as update 1, 9.2, 9.3, and then we will switch to 10. That's going to be the numbering scheme. So.
That's good to know. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, and then there will be a 9.0, like there is a 9.0.2 was released recently. And VCF 5.2.3 was released yesterday, I think. My colleague Ben Sear was telling me that earlier today. And, and so some sanity, some straightforward numbering rather than the letters and numbers and all of that weird stuff going on. So, yeah, no, this is really cool.
Yeah, nice stuff. Love it. I just want to mention that none of the home lab nooks and every other small mini forms, all that, none of that's on the hardware compatibility list. So, if you want to go run this stuff, go for it in your home lab, but it'll just say that you're no go. Right.
Yeah, but we're also often, home labs are just kind of messing around anyhow.
I know. That's what I live for, right? I don't have a production environment. I don't get to play production environment. So all I get to do is do home labs, right? So I don't have any machines that are ready to run VCF 9.
I say I don't have anything production, but it's funny how many people scream when I reboot my home network switches.
Yeah, this is true. So we've been running for a little while now. You've gotten a little bit of success here with this blog. Do you have any future blogs that you're thinking about doing, or are you going to go deeper in the hardware compatibility matrix programming? Do a new version. Just so you know, I don't run anything that's a 1.0, so I'm glad you're at 1.1 now, right? Because that's just my rule: never run anything that's 1.0. But are you thinking about doing some 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and if so, any ideas of what you might put in there?
Yeah, I actually have. I mean, I want to include a new features. You gave me a really cool idea. I mean, let me search for a specific driver or a specific host. Maybe, and this is pretty simple to implement it. So maybe 1.2, it's about that. But I was actually thinking about do another script, and I don't know if you guys, probably you guys you know it, but Broadcom has this planning workbook that's an Excel file already locked with all the fields you need to fill in, so you can have all the information at hand when you deploy your VCF9 fleet. And I was wondering, okay, I need to fill out this spreadsheet with all my information, and that's the exact information I need to create a JSON specification file and
Yeah.
deploy the VCF in the VCF installer. So why can I do that? I mean, it's a different idea. I'll have a lot of work to do, but I was wondering that this could save a lot of time because if you fill out everything and you just run a script and change that information to the specific JSON file that VCF installer use,
Mm-hmm.
man, you can deploy the VCF fleet from the scratch in a few seconds without thinking and without interacting with everything.
Yeah, you
And
just feed
that's
it the JSON file and away it goes. Come
yeah,
back in hours and you've got a fully functional VCF environment. Yeah.
exactly. You don't need to construct to create to build the JSON file. You just need to convert in a sense the Excel to the JSON file. So that's I was trying to do right now. I was working on this project. I don't know when I was able to launch it. I'm still testing, but I mean, later in the future, I probably will release something related to that.
Cool. Well, that's how a lot of the stuff works is you fix something, you fix a problem you're having and then you share it with everyone else. And if people can use it, cool. If they can't, whatever. They're in the same spot they were before. But at least you've got your problem solved. I think that's a terrific idea too, being able to look at the stuff without having to go through the wizard, like the new VCF9 wizard and stuff like that. It's fine, but I like spreadsheets and being able to just put your stuff in there and then run a Python script or whatever and get JSON out. That'd be neat. So.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got to ask. I didn't see this, and maybe I missed it. Does the script have a capability to look at add-in cards? Like, if I put a GPU in, will it detect the GPU card in that server and go, "Oh, you're running a P4 GPU. P4 GPUs lost support at," which I know
No,
I
not
can
yet.
go find in the HCL, but it's a lot of looking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be.
yeah. That's a really good question. I didn't have this implemented yet. I mean, I thought about that, but I wasn't able to test, and I didn't like to create something that I didn't test. I probably won't validate, and I won't be sure. Probably if Bob run the script and try to check something related to GPU, I will be anxious here, you know. So it's great, a great question, but I don't have the ability to test in my environment. Your clients I am working, we don't use GPUs, so I didn't put this feature on the script. That's why.
We just need to get Tony to mail you a GPU. That's all I heard here is send him a GPU.
Technically,
Tony.
two GPUs. He needs one that's
Yeah.
not supported and one that is.
Yeah, true. Well, you can find old ones on eBay for pretty cheap.
Yes, you can.
I can certainly send him plenty of GPUs that are not supported. I got a lot of those.
I accept that. Not a problem.
So cool.
All right. Well, thanks for writing it. It's good, and it trended on our social media platform. So good job. Nicely done, right? For sure. right? And certainly bring some light to the compatibility list that everybody should be paying attention to, especially now that it gives you some advance warning of what might actually not be compatible in the future. I did not know that. So that's actually really good thoughts. Good thoughts. Anything else we want to talk about or cover on the topic?
I'm good. I like it. Keep going.
Right. Yeah,
Thanks for being on.
nicely done. Yeah, we're right at 45 minutes. So we always ask our guests, what keeps you up at night? What are you worried about? And then we'll do the barbecue report. So we'll give you what keeps you up at night and what gets you super excited about 2026.
Well, I believe, as I mentioned, 2026 will be a good year because our customers are planning to deploy VCF9, or they already have this VCF9 on their environment. So in 2026, with customers adopting VCF9, we will see more problems, but we will see more need for help and more content, more ways to create features, to create automating tasks. So I believe when we see the VCF9 deployed across many clients, we'll see more content and the people will interact more. And when the community interact more and help each other, I believe we can achieve the full potential, So I'm really excited about it. I hope that this year will be great for this.
So this is one answer there on both sides. What keeps you up? What keeps you up? VCF9. What gets you excited? VCF9.
VCF9, always VCF9. Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, that gives us a great answer. And then finally, what country do you reside in? And then we'll ask you what kind of barbecue you like to eat, because we do live stream on youtube.com/vbarbecue.
He's well positioned for barbecue. So
yeah.
Thomas, where are you at?
I'm from Brazil.
Excellent. Yes.
I mean, the Brazilian people are really proud about their barbecue. We call churrasco. So, I mean, we love to do. And for me, I used to say that the beef needs to be medium or medium rare. I prefer medium rare. Yeah. Anything more than that, I mean, I used to say that the poor animal died in vain, So
don't worry. Yes.
Yeah. I respect if you don't think the same way, but
like it, but that's Brazilians have you guys have got a lot of barbecue. You guys know what to do with meat. So, what's your favorite kind of barbecue?
Well, I mean, beef. It's the favorite.
Whatever's in front of you.
Yeah. We have here the picanha. That's a beef. I don't know if you guys know it, but it's a beef that's a large layer with fat on top, and we used to do that in a lot of our barbecues. But
they're at a whole new level, because when we talk barbecue, it's like we get some cow. It's called cow, and then we put different sauces on it, right? Their barbecue is what type of cow, what kind of beef, wagyu, what kind of side cuts. They go into the cattle and what you're doing with the cow, not just what sauce you're putting on top, right? So
yeah, that could be it. But actually, the barbecue here is more about, we need to have beef, we need to have maybe all kinds of steaks like pork and chicken, beef, whatever, and caipirinha. It's our common drink, and a cold beer, and friends and family reunited. That's everything we need. We spend the whole day laughing, telling stories, and eating meat. So that's perfect.
And honestly, that's why we called this the V barbecue, right? It wasn't because we were really fixated on smoking meat. It was because a barbecue is a place where people come together and spend time together, right? And that's what it's about. I had a great barbecue this weekend. I did 8 tri-tips because we had like 45 people over. We celebrated 50th birthday for somebody, and it was fantastic. And I just did salt and pepper and charcoal, and everybody. It turned out nice. A little bit of pink inside. The cow did not die in vain, and it was amazing. So yeah, great party, great gathering of people.
Fantastic. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I kind of have a hard stop at the top of the hour here, so I'm a minute late. So we're gonna have to go. Thanks a lot, Thomas, for coming on. A great script.
Good work.
Hope to have you on again in the future.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.